Hello and welcome to Shay Zaza and a Zaza Zooms In. And I have got with me Victoria. Hello, Victoria.
Hello.
This is not your first time here, but it's the
No.
first time that it's just the two of us. So I'm
Yes.
very excited about this.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming back again. Now, today's topic, I've had this conversation with my friend Sola because she was in a similar situation. With her, we called it What to Do Till Love Comes. Because, and that is a Michelle McKinney, I think she said Michelle McKinney Hammond says it. And this one we're calling Single and Satisfied, which is also a Michelle McKinney Hammond.
Yeah.
So thank you, Michelle. Okay, Single and Satisfied. So I think I said this to Shola as well, so I may repeat things, okay, forgive me. But I honestly think that in our culture, which is the Nigerian culture, we raise girls to get married. We raise girls as if marriage is their goal, their destiny, their destination. Nothing matters till they are married.
Yes.
And because of that, we have a lot of girls who all they're doing is looking for marriage or waiting for marriage because that's what they believe is where they're supposed to be, yeah? So it's unusual to find someone from our culture who is single and is okay and is actually living life to the full and loving it. And that was why I wanted to talk to you because, first of all, do you feel that you have any, I was going to say backlash, but do you feel that people, maybe let's even talk about parents, that type of people, older people, have a problem with the fact that you are single?
Oh God, of course. Well, first of all, I'm the first of 6. I'm the only girl with 5 brothers. So you can imagine, especially my dearest mommy. She wants her princess to be married and all that. And I know mommy loves me. But the thing is, because she goes to quite a lot of weddings to go and celebrate other people's children, so I still get up to Nash, we're at this person's wedding. And I'm like, Mom, I'll call you back. And that's it. I'll go for like a few days. I'm not going to speak to her. So I get that because they go to celebrate other people. My dad actually is quite chill. He might be thinking it, but he doesn't hassle me.
Yeah.
So probably because she goes to celebrate other people's wedding, and maybe also their friends are poking, when is yours happening and all that. So it used to bother me before because I'd be like, oh, I'd want to be an example and all that. And then after a while, I've got 2 brothers who are married. For me, instead of feeling the pressure, I felt, oh God, pressure off. Which is not the effect my mother wanted. Because I'm like, someone's going to give grandkids.
Yeah.
So let them, I can chill and relax. So I do get that, but now I'm very different. And I think everyone is even more careful when they bring up that topic. So I'm a bit of a rebel. So I've had a situation where some aunties were like, when are you going to get married? When are you going to get married? So I said, aunties, with all due respect, if what your wedding is like, your marriage is like, is what you expect me to do.
Ooh!
And you could hear a pin drop. But I'm not someone that will be rude to older ones, but it got here up to the point where sometimes you're being made to feel like you've got a disease. But since when that happened, I don't get it anymore. So it worked.
You see, it's so interesting because Shola said exactly the same thing about her mom going to celebrate other people and then, obviously realizing that she hasn't celebrated her own daughter and she wants to celebrate her daughter. And until Shola said it is not something that, because I guess you have to think of it from the parents' point of view as well. However, you're right that in the end, it's not their life. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
They can't force you to marry someone, or they can. Well, they can't, but you know what I mean? They can try. But, it's not them that's going to have to live with the person
Exactly.
or all those things that come with marriage. And you just think, because I think, and I also think that what is quite detrimental in our culture is that because of this, you find a lot of women that get married to the wrong person and some die in that marriage because they don't want to get out of it because I'm a Mrs.
Yes.
And being a Mrs. is such a big deal. It's like you have arrived because that's what we're taught.
Yes.
That's how we're raised. And I find that most, But I love what you said about if my marriage, because it's that same thing where it's almost like being married is the goal. It doesn't matter whether that marriage is good or not. It doesn't matter whether they're beating you to death. It doesn't matter whether they cheat. It doesn't matter. The fact that you're married means you're okay.
Yeah.
And I have a real problem with that because I mean, I think God created marriage, and I think that marriage is supposed to be good, and it's supposed to be good for everybody in the marriage, not
Absolutely.
just for some people. So yeah, very interesting. Okay.
I was going to add something. Then it gets to a stage where if they think you're not going to get married, go and have a child. And I'm like, me, why would I want to do that to myself to raise a child on my own? No, thank you. Yeah, so there's that too.
So is it the marriage they after the children? I've never thought. You know, it's funny because
I've not thought about it, but yeah, those are stages, and not just me. I've got friends in similar situation. I don't know. I've never asked the question, but I'm not going to even bother because then it's opening a door for them.
I have a friend who, when she turned 50, I was talking to her, and she's single. She's been single all through. And when she turned 50, she said to me, "Can you imagine? They were telling me to go and adopt a child."
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I mean, I did, that was the first time I'd heard that, where, you know, she was like, yeah, they said she go and adopt a child. So I said, oh, why? She said, well, because she wants children. So people are like, well, since you're not getting married, go and adopt a child. I was like, well, it is an option, you know, to adopt a child. She said, yeah, but she doesn't want to raise a child by herself, which is fine. You know, but it's interesting because it's almost like, anyway, forget that. So, what about your brothers?
See, my brothers don't disturb me at all. My brothers...
Is that because you're their older sister?
No, even though I'm their older sister, but our age gap is not wide at all.
Okay.
So it's very close. We're very close in age. But I also think they just accept me for who I am. And yeah, they just really accept me for who I am. Like, I have a beautiful, 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 beautiful nephew. I adore him. And I also have two adorable nieces. So for me, it's like an extension. Just because I don't have children doesn't mean I just see them like my kids.
Yeah.
Also, even though they're not in the same country, it gives me so much joy. And also it gives me so much joy that my brothers are in happy marriages. So I do believe in it. My parents have been together forever. I mean, they've known since when they were kids. And I think that's another standard that is so high. In this world, it's very hard to match. But my brothers are pretty cool. There are things I tell my brothers about my realities. And they're like, do you? Which I will not tell my mom. Mom, sorry if you watch this. I still will not tell you. You'll find out later. But they'll be like, just do you, and we're behind you. So yeah, they're pretty.
Okay,
pretty
so
chilled.
let me ask this question then. Based on the fact that you were born and brought up in Nigeria, am I correct? So you, what age did you yourself think that you would probably be married at?
So in my head, I said by the time I'm 30, I'll finish having children. That was my
Or
dream.
finished having children?
Oh, yeah.
So you'd have been married at like 25, maybe.
Yeah, and then
20.
done. Then 30, I have my children. Then I'll just let them grow and then live life, and that's it. Because my mom had me, I think, when she was, if I think about it, I think she was 24.
Okay.
And she had me, my brother. I mean, the first three, she had us every year, almost every year. Then there was a little gap. So and I didn't want to have as many children as my mom. My mom had 6. I only wanted 2. So if I went by the math, it was quite easy to stick to that. But then it didn't happen that way. Yeah.
So was there any point when you thought, oh my gosh, I'm not married? I should be married and I'm not married. As in, did you get concerned at any point in time that
Yeah, so I've also had engagements where I've been engaged and called off. I've had long-term relationships that I'm like, oh, I think it's going somewhere. One, I actually walked away because that's the longest relationship I've been in. And I felt that it was going to lead to marriage, and I walked away from it. And then I thought, but I think with that particular one, because I wasn't happy in it and staying that long, I'm like, I've actually been in a relationship longer than some people have been married. It just made me realize that, you know what? Just take your time. You've actually tried. There's a difference if you didn't even try and nothing has happened. But I have been in relationships that have been long term and it just didn't happen. So for that, and I don't sit down blaming myself, oh, would I have done something different? Because I've also, self-evaluation is really good. Yeah. So there's certain cases where I take responsibility for myself, what I've done, but also there are learnings I had from it. And I just came to acceptance that, look, there's certain fundamental, if I don't have it, just stay on your own.
Yeah.
But also live life.
Yeah, but so you see, I think that's the bit that I'm most interested in the fact that you didn't stop life because you don't have a husband. No. And I think that, unfortunately, there are a lot of women that do that. So even though it looks like they're not stopping life, the parties they go to is because they're looking for who they can marry. You know what I mean? Everything is guided by the fact that they are looking for a husband or they're waiting to be found. That's the way we say it in Christianity. Yeah. Because we don't look, they find us. But you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, so it's almost like life stops.
Oh gosh, that's sad.
So how, because I look at you and I think, look at this girl. Like, where are you now? You just said to me now you're going away this weekend and then you're going away the week after. As in you're literally living your life fully in everything. And what gives you maybe it's also the back end, maybe you've answered this already, but what gives you the freedom or the confidence maybe to just be you and do you whilst you're waiting? I don't even know that you're waiting, to be fair, but
No,
you know what I
I'm
mean?
just, yeah, I'm not waiting. I'm just like, whatever life brings, of course, ultimately you want to be with someone that have your back, the partner, live life to the best and live. Yeah, sometimes with certain things you want to do with someone, but I'm not stopping life because
There isn't someone.
there isn't someone. So for me, it's irrespective. I want to look back at life and say, all through this time, I had the best life ever. So what gave me that confidence? Working hard. Well, let's be honest, because for me, like having more earning power, because certain things, even though you want to do it, you can't do it because
Yeah.
you need to be able to afford it. So I remember before I was British, getting visa, I'll waste a day from work and all that, but I would just get like small trips, or even if it was before even going abroad.
So you love travel.
I love travel. I love
going.
going. Oh yes, and even from as children, our parents used to take us on little trips in Nigeria and all that. So what I used to do initially when I first started working is once a month I'll book a hotel and just book one, and it's like I've gone on holiday. To me, I'm like a millionaire. That's what was in my head.
Yeah.
And the more I was earning, then I was okay. I can start exploring places to go, and I'll pick random places based on my budget, and go on my own. And it was fine. I think being an only girl, I'm quite used. I can go to places on my own. I can go to cinema on my own. Even back in the day when I go clubbing, well, I still go once in a while with my friends when I go on holiday. But I have no problem doing things on my own.
Yeah.
So my earning power just gave me more confidence to do more. But also with traveling, you see the world in a different. Like you meet people.
Look, I think that anybody that doesn't travel is limited.
Yes.
Because I feel like you can't, there's so much you see from just seeing how other people live.
Yes.
Seeing other people, because a lot of the time, if we're honest, we stay with our kind.
Yes.
Even in our, you stay with the people that are from your kind of area or went to the same sort of schools as you, or, you still kind of stay, there's some sort of, you kind of put people in categories and you stay in a certain category.
Yeah.
But when you travel, like the way they always say that, London is a leveler.
Yes.
There's some people I've met in London that I would never, ever have crossed paths with in my entire life if I'd been in Nigeria. It's nothing, it's just that our paths would never have crossed. But London is a leveler. We're all here. And we're all in London, and nobody knows where you came from or what school you went to, or you know what I mean. So there's no, so you tend to have created the bonds already without realizing that I would never have actually even looked at this person if I was somewhere else. And that's not a snobbish thing. It's just
it's a reality.
It's a fact. Yeah. So London is a leveler already, but I think when you travel the world, it's not so much that it's a leveler, but it gives you an insight to. I just feel like you have to travel. You have to travel. Nothing. And when I say travel, I mean travel to explore, not the travel that you go to a resort where everybody speaks English and you stay in that same resort for the entire 7 days you are there, and you come back and then you tell me you've been to Greece. No, you have not been to Greece.
No.
You have not. You have just been to England inside a Greece
For me
island.
to do that, I'd rather just get a hotel in UK and do that, or just stay in my home and not pick up calls. And that's because my trips are not relaxing most of the time. Yeah. It's when I'm here at home that I'm actually more relaxed, because I want some places I might never go and see it again. So I want to get as much as I can out of it. And meeting people, because most times when I travel, I tend to travel on my own. I've met some of the most amazing people. One thing I also find a lot, older couples. Sometimes they'll see you sitting down on your own, they'll come and say, can we sit down with you? The amount of free food I've got from older couples, just because they've just seen, and sometimes they'll think, oh, are you lonely? And then when they find out more about you, you talk about yourself, find how interesting you are, they talk about their lives. I love asking couples also questions about their life, their journey, their children, their grandchildren. And it just takes something, and these people, I might never speak to them again. It's just a one-off. A holiday I went to recently, we went somewhere with some friends, and then there was someone's birthday. And I went and I just sang happy birthday. a
Oh, I
stranger.
saw that actually.
You see, so that for me gives me joy because they're touched, and it's just given a gift that God has given. And so, with doing that, it's like anything could happen.
I'm glad you explained that because I thought why she's singing happy birthday.
Yeah, it was just random. Yeah, random, and yes, and it just gives me so much joy. I remember my 40th. I went to Gambia. I wanted to do it in Africa. I chose Gambia because I just googled smallest African country, and I didn't want Nigeria. And when I went, it was my birthday. There was another older couple, and I just sang happy birthday. They thought I was some celebrity. I am not. But literally, the whole atmosphere of that restaurant changed. The service, everything. They just treated us like superstars, and everyone was like, "We want to go on holiday with you next time." So little things like that you just pick up. Some places also you go, I'm the only black person. Sometimes on the plane, I'm the only black person, or if I go on tours, I'm the only black person. And sometimes you have some stereotypes, but I use that also as an educative tool to show them that even if you have a stereotype, there are different types, and they take away something. And I also learned something about their culture, them. So for me, there's so much, the world, there's so much to see.
Yeah, there's so much. I mean, I literally want to go to every country in the world, and I feel like it can only make you better. That's what I
Absolutely.
think. I mean, you may have some unpleasant experiences, but it can
Actually,
only
not
make
yet.
you.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
not you. Thank God, not yet. But what I mean is, even if you do,
Yeah.
it's only, you know what I mean. It's not. And I'm like you. I'm very happy to go by myself.
Oh,
If
yeah.
I don't want anybody, because I don't want anybody spoiling my thing. And I like to. I do. It's different to you. I like to chill. So I like to take my book, lie on the beach, whatever.
Yeah.
But I will always make sure I have 1 or 2 days where I'm exploring that place,
Yeah.
so that I can say, actually, I know that place. So I would have read up on it before I get there, or I would
Yes.
have done my research
Yeah.
and say these are places I want to go to, whatever. So that I feel like I've actually been to the place. And
Yeah.
you know, now that everybody's doing destination something, I find that we go to all these destinations, but we've not
Don't
actually
explore.
been to the
Oh
destination.
gosh, yeah. You can't
You
pay
know
that
what I mean?
much money and not see.
And yeah, you know what I
No.
mean. So I think it's travel is, it changes your outlook, it changes your everything. And I wonder if you might marry someone who is from another place.
You never know.
Yeah,
We'll
because,
see.
you know,
The person needs to like travel. If not, they need to let me do my traveling. If not, there's going to be wahala.
Well, you see, I travel a lot without my husband.
Well, true.
And it's not so much that he doesn't like travel. He's much better now. I think initially it wasn't, not that he didn't like it, it just wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
But for me, it was a thing. So it's become a thing for him as well. But it's
Yeah.
not. But he releases me to go
Yeah.
when he doesn't want to go, when he can't go, whatever. You knock
That's the most
yourself
important.
out.
As long as I'm allowed to, then that's fine. Because
You know,
well, it's not even allowed.
I was just going to say,
I take it back.
yes.
I take it back.
And
Sorry.
even the way I said he
Scratch.
releases me, I was just going to
Scratch. They met me like this. So just I might make few adjustments. For example, maybe I might do less, just because if there are some financial commitments, but God, please bless me more so that I can do it all. And then that way. But yes, they met me like that, and they need to just accept that part because it actually gives me joy. It also resets me, and I can give more of myself. Yeah.
And can I take back that he releases me? It's not so much he releases me. He's very happy for me to go.
Yeah.
Which is actually quite alarming. But that's the fact. So yeah, so you know, it's like so I think, okay, so travel is one of the things that you do. And what else do you do?
So when I'm in London, I'd also like to. I go hiking.
Where do you hike in London?
Oh, anywhere. The latest place I went to, oh my God, it's beautiful. It's not too far from where I live. It's called Paynes Hill, which is in Cobham. And Paynes Hill, that was where I actually told your husband about that. I sent him a link, so you should check it out. It's actually where they filmed Bridgerton.
Ah.
So little places, quirky places. I've been to somewhere in Bracknell. They're different, and it could be in London, it could be outside London. And they do, if you're on your own, you can take certain parts. They're
Yeah,
easy, and you just follow it. I've also done one, oh gosh, I've forgotten the place now, for charity. With charity I support, Path to Possibility. I can't do it this year, unfortunately, because my friend's getting married, so I can't do that. So I do that. I like visiting museums. Like yesterday, I went to one where it had African art. I can walk around London. One thing I found that I love, one building I love the most in London is St. Paul's Cathedral.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I have got hundreds of photos of St. Paul's from different angles. I can wake up in the morning and go to the monument and take it from there. I can go back there at night and take it there. I can, yeah, so from different parts of London, just capturing that. And you just see, and one thing I find is that London at night is very beautiful. Sometimes I do this on my own. That way, I don't have to go to the gym. I get my steps done. And by the time you see, time has gone. So where do you have
And the
time
thing
to be
is,
sitting down and thinking?
London is
nothing?
actually, we that live in London, we take it for granted. London has so much to offer that
So
we don't
much.
even, we're not even scratching the surface.
Yes.
And I keep saying that every year I say I must do more in London, I must do more in London, because I live here. People come to London for things that I have at my, and,
Yes.
I just ignore. Or
And not
think I'll do
everything
it
you
later.
have to pay for.
Yeah,
So
no, if
the
there's a lot of-
fantastic thing, we've got ChatGPT now, thank God. You can even just look at ChatGPT and say 3 things to do this weekend. It will
Yeah.
give you a list of things.
Yeah.
And you can just pick and choose what you want to do. So I definitely like, museums, walks. I love fashion.
Okay, wait, stop this now, because you're now telling me what you like. I don't want to know what you like. So what I'm thinking, because I'm looking at the time. I look at the time. It just went flying by.
Oh, wow.
But so back to single and satisfied.
Yes.
At any point, because you see, I feel like people are often told, don't do too much because it will put the man off, right? Or don't be out there too much, or whatever it is, because it'll put the man off. What do you think about that?
Oh, that's crap. Sorry. Use that. I used to think that, and earlier on this year, I had the opportunity to go to a family member's, was it 50th or 60th? I can't remember now. Well, it's an in-laws birthday celebration in Mexico.
Yeah.
And they were all couples. I was the only one, apart from their children, they were all couples. And then my brother's mother-in-law. So I love couples because I can just ask them any question, I can be bold. And I brought this question up to them. And when the men started breaking down how their wives were, that was what attracted them to be with them. And it's still what holds them together and brought out the best version of them. They said, do not change who you are. So yes, that just sealed my confidence even more, that if you don't have someone that just accepts you for who you are,
I think that if they have a problem with that, then they're not your man.
Definitely
your
not.
Your man would not have a problem with that.
Exactly.
And I think if I use myself as an example, I think a lot of people think that I'm a bit much for a married woman. I don't.
I look up to you. So yeah, I'm like, if this is how this is what
I don't behave like a married woman.
No.
I'm out with this. I have
fine.
friends of the other sex. I have all these things that
That's
people
how it
put
should
in.
be.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's how my husband met me. That's what he liked about me. Well, I don't know if it was that specifically, but he didn't dislike that about me.
Yeah.
And he allows me to. Because the thing is that the moment they start to limit who you are, then it's going to be an unhappy marriage.
Exactly.
Because you're now not being who you really are. And I feel
Exactly.
like that's a key thing. Okay, so we have 3 minutes left. Let me give you 1 minute. Well, I don't know if it's 1 minute. To say, what would you say to another lady who is past the age that we consider to be, you should be married and having children, so is older and is, she is actually waiting for her husband. All she wants is to get married. What would you say to her?
So what I would say to her is, number one, when you're waiting, what are you doing while you wait? Because also, he could come. Are you actually ready? Because some people are sitting there, you need to be ready. What is it about you that when he sees you, like, wow, where have you been? So love yourself first. That is so important, because if you don't love yourself and you're waiting for someone to complete you, oh my God, you will be 10 times depressed. So love yourself first. Live life to the fullest. And when I say live life to the fullest, what are your interests that you like to do? That don't do that till you don't wait for someone. Just do things, whether it's catch up with friends, catch up with family, help out friends. Like sometimes I help babysit my friends' children. It gives me joy when I go somewhere and children don't want me to go, or if I go visit people and people don't want me to go. It gives me so much joy. So that feeling that love, and surround yourself with the things that you want. So if you want to be in a happy relationship or happy marriage, surround yourself with people that you admire. Ask them questions, because also they'll give you some realities. There's some things that I hear and I'm like, yeah, so just patch, there are things I need to work on, and am I actually ready? And sometimes I'm like, thank God I don't have to think. Some days when I'm tired, I'm so glad that I can just sleep and not think about anyone. Yeah. So make the most of your life. Get yourself ready. Will the person who you want also, when they see you, will they want you? Because sometimes some ladies have very unrealistic expectations. So someone will be like, oh, I want this guy. They have all this list. And I'm like, why would someone with all this list go for you? Ask yourself that true question. And if you don't want to ask yourself, get a friend who in love will tell you the truth. Because I've had to do that with myself. Sometimes the truth hurts, but If that's what you truly desire, then build yourself to be like that and be the best version of yourself and give your time. The time that you have now, that no one is controlling, maximize it, because when that person comes, you would need to, that time might not be able to allocate as you can. So that's what I'd say. Yeah.
I love that.
But love yourself first.
And you know how I am about loving yourself. I feel that's the key to life. Love yourself. Accept yourself. Yes, you want to change things. Yes, there are things you could be better at. But if you love yourself, you accept yourself. I said, rock your own gorgeous. You first know yourself, love yourself, be yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't be yourself.
Absolutely.
And if you're not being yourself, then how is the person that is looking for you going to find you when you're not there?
Exactly, absolutely.
So I think that's really key. But anyway, we're running out of time. So single and satisfied, it is possible. You do not have to start living life when you have a man or a spouse. Let's even pretend that there's some men that are waiting for a wife. I'm not sure that's true. But I think that, the key thing is you came into this world by yourself as your individual self. You're going to leave as your individual self. What are you doing as your individual self until the time when you have to share your life with somebody else? Whilst you're not sharing your life with somebody else, enjoy your life. Do what you were supposed to do in your life as yourself until your husband finds you. Let us know what you think. Follow us on YouTube. See you next time.